Welcome back to Off the Thread Reds. We're a group chat of above-average Reds fans. Overreact, overanalyze, and keep coming back for more. We'll keep you up in time with the Cincinnati Reds season and react to the highs and lows of being a Cincinnati Reds fan. This episode, it's all about reacting to the highs. We're going to be talking about the Reds. They're a good baseball team. Even though the score right now while we're recording the Rockies doesn't show it, but they're a good baseball team. Before we dive into that, I would like to kind of get the Threads reaction on how the Reds have been playing. I know we're going to dive a lot into maybe some Elly De La Cruz and different things like that, but thoughts, reactions, how are the Reds doing?
Thank you for basing it off of this game tonight. We're not too happy, but last night looked sick. I mean, last night was a game that Chase Burns had 9 Ks. Elly was 3 for 4 with a homer, 4 RBIs. I think Nate Lowe had a couple of bats where he had a couple of RBIs. He was 2 for 4. Spencer Steer hits a home run. A lot to be excited about, honestly, with the team in general. Spencer Steer being a big name. I know, Mark, you talked about him before the season, but he's really been coming around. His batted ball data, although his average and other things don't look great, is looking fantastic. Like, he's hitting the ball hard. He's got good exit velo, good launch angle. I just assume that it's going to pick up the longer the season goes on. But, I mean, for me, you win 8 of 10, you win 10 of 13. I'm not going to be too upset if you give one away to the Rockies.
Yeah, De La Cruz just been on fire. I like to go to the ESPN app and go to the scoring summary when I see that runs are scored. Do the same for football and just see who scored them. De La Cruz is just spamming this page for yesterday. It was everywhere. It made me think are we the Chinese Taipei team with Kim? And it's just or do we have multiple De La Cruzes? But it's not. It's all out.
You can do it all. You can do it all. Yeah, one thing I wanted to mention too was just coming off of this team seems to love an off day. I think the last 3 or 4 series as well, having a game in between either for travel or just in between home series like these last 2. I think we have gotten a W both games after an off day. So something just to keep an eye on too, just longevity down the stretch. How do we fight through some of these really long weeks? But so far, it's been really exciting. I mean, this team is now starting to score more runs than we were first worried about. We're kind of eating our words from a few weeks ago, which I'm happy about. So yeah, hope the team keeps rolling here.
I was just looking at the schedule. 4 straight winning series. Tomorrow would be going up for the 5th straight, which you're not going to win every game, but they're putting themselves in a position to just tally up series wins, and beating Detroit, Tampa are good teams, and then just take care of business tomorrow with Colorado. I was just looking at overall stats. This is one of the best starts we've had. I can't even remember the last time we started this well. So the month of April, I would give it a 9 out of 10. It could have been a 10 out of 10, but if they just beat that Pittsburgh series. But no, I'm ecstatic.
Yeah, I was actually just looking up the best start since, and this is the best start since 1990, and this is a better start than the 75 and 76 season.
Yeah, I was gonna kind of go
okay.
Yeah,
World
Series?
No. Okay.
No, the one thing that I kind of want to point out is I don't remember any Reds team, and you just kind of said that, John, to get to 20 wins before May. That is an outrageous thing to say, just thinking about the Cincinnati Reds. But I mean, this team's got it, which we can kind of dive into why the Reds are a good team. There's some stats that we pulled up. I mean, pitching staff itself is 7th in ERA. That's winning formula. 6th with 3 shutouts, which is pretty wild. Our fielding, which is I think the biggest shock of the year, we're only averaging 0.5 errors a game. And if you look back on past teams, I bet you it's way over 1. And then the last thing is what Dylan kind of hit on. Our batting's starting to go. I mean, I trust our bats at this point. Obviously, there's a couple in the lineup that are hit or miss, but I mean, it's been fun. It's winning baseball. It's a winning formula. But I kind of want to go down the line with you guys is what do you think makes this team an almost or going to be a 20-win team before May?
It's because Brian Hayes is rubbing off on Elly defensively. No, I mean, I do think that there is something to Elly's defense improving being next to him. But Elly's bat's also improving, and that credit's got to go to South Stewart, definitely not to Key. Um, I think the balance of the pitching staff, and also I think we're so excited because we're sitting here 19-10, and we're still without our top two pitchers, and we know our pitching staff's only getting stronger throughout the year.
Yeah, it's a matter of like, can we keep up? Can we keep the pace? I think is my biggest thing too. But yeah, Joe, like that, the 5-tool player aspect of Elly, it's so exciting. I mean, that the backup play he had a third base behind Key was just like textbook. I mean, it was plastered everywhere on social media. So yeah, I think that just playing really, really just good baseball. I think Tito's is still also managing these games extraordinarily too. Like it just seems to be so far the right guy to the plate at the right time, especially some of these late games. So yeah, just really exciting. I mean, I think whenever time you have a chance to have some exciting plays in the field and also a lot of home runs too, I mean, who's not happy about that?
I think we've improved in like every facet. If you look at timely hitting, last year we had multiple games where you lose by 1 run or you get 0 runs completely. This year we've had multiple games where we only have 4 hits, but we have 3 runs. Like we're making and taking advantage of the opportunities we have. Go to pitching, our bullpen has been phenomenal. We've had a couple of games. I think we had one game past couple of days where he kind of blew up, but outside of that, they've been stellar. You had the best ERA in the bullpen through 25 games. Starting pitching outside of, working through some things with Singer, working through Williamson, but even with them in the rotation, we're still winning games because we have better offense. So I think we've improved drastically across the board, and we got some pieces like Nathaniel Lowe in the offseason who have heavily contributed to the team. And I think a lot of that has just made us more successful than we were last year.
I kind of think that the floor of this team is the highest that it's been in a long time, right? And I think the pitching is going to be the main cause for that. And to Dylan's point, we're going to hit and we're going to slowly, I think, work our way up to being a middle tier team from a batting standpoint. But when you have elite pitching, that's going to keep you in almost every game. And when we're not clicking, it seems like we're losing. We're getting kind of not blown out, but we're losing the games, and it's not really competitive. Which I don't know if you guys feel this way, but I would rather lose 8-0 and then not blow a 3-2 game when it matters, right? And I feel like they're winning the games that really matter when there's no room for error. And then from a like extra inning standpoint, I've been so like last year, if it got to extra innings, I almost turned it off, right? Like I knew the outcome of the game. This year, it feels like it's weird because we haven't been hurt yet by an extra innings game, and I'm just waiting for some of that luck to turn around. But I just feel like they're just playing really good baseball, and to your point, Kirby, like I they might actually be a really good team, and we're seeing hopefully 20 wins in April and on the road to 94, right? Isn't that what your over under was at the beginning of the year? So
Yeah.
the road to 94 is looking good. So they might be good.
So for the listeners out there, the reason why the theme of the episode is "Are the Reds good?" or "They are a good team" is because I woke up on the right side of the bed this morning. Obviously, me being a teacher, I wake up at like 5:30 before everybody else. So I'm just thinking about the Reds, before I get to work. And I sent a very colorful text message, and I'll read a little bit out there for the thread heads. But it says, "Boys, it's a special time to be a Cincinnati Reds fan. This morning, April 29th, going into tonight's game, the Reds have a chance to win 20 baseball games." Obviously, that's not happening because they're getting their butts kicked. But hey, we'll change it to April 30th for this text message. I don't want to be that guy and get too far ahead, but I just want to say one thing. The Reds are a good baseball team. Not just good, but an NL Central leading baseball team. And the one thing I do want to say is this weekend, when we're in Pittsburgh, Joey, Pittsburgh's not going to be raising that Jolly Roger flag. We are, all right, because we're a good baseball team. Now, I just do want to say one thing is I do get a little excited at the end of this message for our listeners out there. I told them that, the 95 win Reds are here. So maybe I'm getting a little ahead of myself. But I'm very set on this team is good. I think if we start to make mistakes, it's not going to be one of those, oh, this is the Reds. I think it's going to be actually like, hey, what are we doing? Because we're a good baseball team. Mark, you said it best. Our floor is so high compared to years past, and I think our ceiling's even higher. So I'm excited to kind of see what we end up doing here. Any last thoughts before we kind of move on?
That was the most I think rapid fire reaction message we've had in a long time in that group chat. It was instant, emphasize, like, heart, whatever. It was just, my phone was blowing up instantly, and I was fired up over my cup of coffee this morning. So, yeah, Curb, I hope you're sending those messages 2-3 months down the road. We need you. We'll be marching to beat of your drum all season.
Yeah, I thought Herb Brooks got my telephone number. It gave me some Miracle vibes, which was unreal to start the day. But yeah, no, I mean, I think this team's got the juice. I think they got the sauce. They're playing with some swagger to them. The bats are coming alive. That's the part, honestly, to me that, like, I remind myself when I start to doubt this team. We watched, like, very bad offense for a long portion of this season, and they maintained and stayed afloat. We just now are starting to have these bats click. It wasn't until 5 to 6 games ago that multiple players got over that 200 batting average threshold mark. So I'm not going to doubt what I'm seeing so far. I'm just going to hope we stay healthy. Right now, we're missing, like we said, Hunter Green, Lodolo, Suarez just went down. Trevino was down for a while. Just maintain health, get to the All-Star break, and stay above 500 as long as you can.
Cap, where do you think we rank in average offense right now? Or sorry, average total team batting average?
If I had to guess,
Last.
I was gonna guess 24th. If I'm being like hopeful,
I like your
we
optimism.
can look that up
Cap.
currently.
Dead last. Dead
Oh,
last.
okay, cool.
Dead
Yeah, I
last.
wasn't just
So,
being negative.
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
No. Yeah.
Last, yeah, okay. I think one thing too that like I'm really excited for this, I'm hopefully will not be clipped. I'm really excited to play the Cubs and the Pirates, and I'm excited to have some like divisional matchups where like the tension will be high and like it's not that we haven't had that this past month with some of these other opponents, but like something about just playing against the division rivals is going to be so much fun, and hopefully we weren't a product to just a hot start and maybe playing some weaker teams, but we can keep pace in the division.
Yeah, I'm feeling really good, and I'm thinking back to some of our call-in questions from before the season, some of them even opening day, and it was like, how much does this offense rely on South Stewart? Was one of them, and I think that's a lot of the success is maybe we are relying on him, but he's worthy of relying on. And then the other one was, I think Cam asked about what's like the most important thing for the Reds, and I said Elly De La Cruz wants to be paid like an MVP. He needs to start performing like an MVP if this Reds team is ever going to get close to its ceiling. And so far, he is. And that's why, as he's doing it, I'm never going to stop loving on Elly De La Cruz. I can be tough on our stars, Elly, Joe Burrow, when they're not getting it done and we're losing games because they are the face of these franchises. But they deserve their praises sung when they're getting it done for us.
I like how you brought up, Joey, like the whole Elly De La Cruz getting paid and things like that. I think the way he's performing now, I think he deserves a contract. I don't think the Reds are going to be able to like fork up, but keep doing it, man. I mean, we still have him under team control for 3 years, right? So, I mean, keep it going. He is playing at an MVP level. I don't know if you guys have seen the WAR metrics. He's like top 5 or something like that already, which is pretty cool. But all right, let's go ahead, kind of move on, which is we're getting into it now. Cap's Corner. We got a good one today. It's a hot take, and I think a lot of us are going to love it. So, Cap, go ahead. Take it away with a little bit of Cap's Corner.
Yeah, just looking to get some feedback to see where the team's hearts are on Elly De La Cruz and what his ceiling is for this season. Currently, he's got 10 home runs and 8 stolen bases through 29 games. And I'm wondering, can he hit that 40-40 status this season? And if you could, give us your prediction. Do you think it's going to happen or not?
I think yes. I think it will happen. I think he might even be close to 42, 43 homers. I think the stolen bases might be a litting tricky just because he's hitting that many, home runs for power. He's not on base as much as he used to be. So we'll see. I mean, he's been hitting great. A lot of opposite field. I guess I turned out to be just an opposite field hitting guy. I praised, Nathaniel Lowe a couple of weeks ago about hitting an opposite field single. Elly with an opposite field, homer a couple of days ago. Key with a big oppo hit yesterday as well. So Yeah, we'll see. I think that'll be the tricky one, is him just getting on base a little bit more frequently, keeping those strikeouts low. But I mean, his offseason training must have been focusing on not swinging out of the zone, but then also focusing heavily on first attempt backside hitting. I feel like he's pushing the ball backside, both sides of the plate really, really well. And if you just can stay away from the high fastball, I think he had a couple of Ks yesterday with just up the ladder fastballs. That tape will spread quickly with pitchers. So I think if he can lay off those, silence some other strikeout areas, I think he'll be getting on base a lot more, and then getting a lot more stolen bases too. So I think official prediction, I think he will get it, but it's going to be really close. I think like 42 homers, 40 stolen bases.
To kind of piggy off of Dylan here, I think the faster that he climbs the home run tally, the least, or the likelihood of his stolen bases, I think, are going to decrease. And I think this is just all speculation. I think if you have Elly that's killing it from a plate standpoint, is there an area that you don't want him to potentially like injure himself or have that wear and tear? Because I remember, what was it, a couple years ago when he was stealing bases left and right, it seemed like his body was kind of wearing down. And I think if he is mid-30s home run wise, I could see Tito and maybe the organization wanting to cut back a little bit on the stolen bases. This is just me just guessing too. But right now, the way that he's batting from just a left side and just crushing them, I think he's probably close to the 42, to Dylan's point. I think he's probably 30s in a stolen base. I think they taper him back a little bit. That's my guess.
Yeah, so I prefer him to hit a homer mark first, because then he's driving himself in, and even if you're doing it with 2 outs, you're guaranteeing a run, not just getting in the scoring position. It's kind of crazy to think about right now after, like, you look back at last year's his summer power slump, and how 2 years ago he stole 67 bases, when like leaving him just short of a 30-30 season because of the homers. Um, but I do think if he's able to keep this power up, then he probably will have the ability to walk more if he can take balls. That's what we don't know. Is he going to want to be
big
hitting
if,
more
yeah.
homers and not be taking the free pass and get the chance for stolen bases that way?
Depends
So
if
that's why I think if he's like pre-All-Star break numbers for homer, if he gets to, say, call it 30 pre-All-Star break or 27, then they're not going to be pitching to him as much, and then he can get more stolen bases in the second half. But so I
Sal's
mean,
hitting him
I
in.
like the play. I've been speaking too highly of him to say that he's not going to hit that. So, yes.
Yeah, I'm with everybody. I think 30-30 is for sure attainable. I think you guys all brought up a good point. Like, if he is performing and hitting home runs, I mean, they'll slow him down. Or if he's stealing bases because he's not hitting home runs, right? But I think at this start and what he's doing, if he stays healthy, 30-30 is for sure. I mean, if he goes 40-40 and the way he's playing the glove, I mean, I think he's an NL MVP candidate if he can hit that 40-40. Even 30-30, I think Elly De La Cruz, with what he brings to the game, is in that boat for NL MVP. I just really hope he stays healthy. We saw last year he hit that slump, and it was a different Elly at the end of the year. So I'm hoping he stays healthy, they protect him, and he's able to kind of shine and do his thing.
I'll round us out, and I say that he is going to hit the 40-40. My concern being the stealing of the bases. I'm going to nerd out when it comes to like his batted ball data this year is so absurd compared to years past. It's not even funny. His launch angle is 6 degrees higher than any previous year. His highest for this was 9.6. So he's lifting the ball a ton more. His average exit velocity is up 4.8 miles per hour from his best year, up to 95.8 miles per hour. His barrel, just the way he's barreling ball, he's 14 barrels this year. Last year's his best year in the MLB at 42. He's already 33% of the way there, 18% for the season. I just think there's so much data there that I don't think what we're seeing at the plate's going to stop. I think he's going to hit a ton of home runs. I truthfully do. I think when it comes to stealing the bases, it's a culmination of what Joey said. He's going to get on base more, possibly to start walking if it does continue. I think with those walks, he's going to move over on stealing bases and get in scoring position. But yeah, 40-40. I was going to come in real hot and say there's a possibility 50-50, but I'll leave that off the table for now.
I love it. I
60,
love it.
60.
Speaking to existence, Cap. I mean, come on. Yeah, 60-60, first ever.
But if he's stealing bases every time that he gets walked, and those walks are doubles, then maybe they do just don't ever stop pitching to him. Yeah.
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 Yeah. Do we know if Elly's still a torpedo bat user?
I think so.
Okay.
I think he's
'Cause if not, we got to get a bat boy on the
think-
pod to
Yeah.
confirm his setup. But seems to be working.
I guess I have a question for you guys. If we find ourselves in a situation where we're not generating a lot of runs, like this is the perfect situation, right? If Elly's on base and we need to generate a spark, like he's the guy to do it, and best way to do it is stealing a base. Do you think the way that the offense is playing helps or hurts the stolen base, I guess? Like, like if everyone around him is playing well, do you think it's more likely he's going to achieve it, or is it the inverse? Like if we're not batting well and he's the only one getting on base, that's our only chance to hit the 40-40 from a stolen base standpoint.
I think personally,
that
if
makes
everybody's
sense.
playing well, I think if everybody's playing well, he'll get on base more. He'll generate more stolen opportunities. Like they're just going to consistently run. I thought where you were going to take that was going to be an interesting conversation topic of does Elly move to batting first in the lineup to get him more opportunities to get on base, to get more opportunities to have, like if he gets a single in the first inning, imagine Elly De La Cruz with no outs, top of one. I'd be willing to take that risk to steal a good amount of times to move him to second and try and get an early lead.
I wouldn't be opposed to moving everyone up one.
So hot
Yeah.
take here. If the rest of our team can do it, I think they need to do it because Elly should bat first, Sal should bat second because he is your best bat in the lineup. And I think the 3-hole can be taken over by a player who can produce. I mean, off the top of my head, I think it's probably going to be a platoon bat. The only issue is Dane Myers is a dog. So like I want him being our leadoff for the rest of the year. So I don't know. That's an interesting point, but dude, if Elly was batting leadoff, that would be dirty. Or the Reds need to go get a corner outfielder in free agency, and he can bat 3. But that's for another time.
Who would that be? Do we have any names? I don't even know.
I mean, if the
What are
Red
the
Sox
streets
keep
saying?
selling, I mean, they got rid of their whole coaching staff. I would love one
Are
of
you
their
saying at the
outfielders.
deadline? Are you saying deadline or free agency? Because
Deadline.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure there'll be sellers. I mean, the Phillies look like they'd be sellers right now too.
Could be. Yeah.
I think they're more
Yeah.
likely to sell than the Red Sox because everyone's young in that outfield.
Yeah.
Um,
That could be a good topic a couple weeks down the road now. Just like who can we add mid-season here, 60, 70 games in to get it going.
All right. Well, hey, John, good conversation. Love the Caps corner there. Elly, keep doing it. Prove us all wrong. Be a 40-40 player. But let's go ahead and get into Mark's metrics here. One of them I'm just going to say I am 100% taking because I think we're going to pile on Lorenzen. So go ahead and hit us away with Mark's metrics.
Yep. Brought to you by Masali Law. Unpaid sponsorship. When life throws you a curveball, go to Masali Law. They'll take care of you. The over-under tomorrow of the business special, Lorenzen, I think it's business special, Lorenzen versus Abbott, 9.5. I just feel like it could be one of those games where the first inning ends and it's like 3-3 and then 1 run scored. So this is where the under would hit. But I think it is just made for a crazy afternoon day of baseball. Take the over. I'm not, but just as a topic of discussion.
What if you push it to 11.5? Because I mean, you're thinking Lorenzen on the one side is like Kirby wants it, but
yeah,
I think
I'm
Mike-
also worried about
Mike's
Abbott. Yeah, I was going to say Abbott hasn't really shown the ability to make me think that it's going to be a one-sided affair here. I don't know. I can play around with it and connect later, but that's not a bad idea. Just push as high as DraftKings would allow us. Not a bad idea. John, what are your thoughts? You look like you're...
I'm currently looking up to see, because I love the take of Michael Lorenzen. I think we are going to get to him well, personally. But I also know, like, the Colorado Rockies have improved a ton offensively, but I don't know their hitting versus left-handed data. I know they just hit really well against Brandon Williamson, but I didn't know if that was a fluke or not. But Yeah, I mean, if they're facing off against Abbott and they are going to lay off of Abbott's breaking ball, I'm going to assume they're going to tee off on a 92 to 94 mile per hour fastball, sit middle cheese. So I will take the over 9.5, 10.5, or 11.5.
Yep. I'm also, this is what, our third straight game against an old pitcher, like Tyler Malley, Nick Martinez, and now Lorenzen. So I'm curious to see how this one folds from a spectrum standpoint.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, Lorenzen could just come out, just hit, 10 for 10 reps of 10 on the bicep curls, of 100, I should say, on the bicep curls, just looking swole on the mound. So is he the only Vans sponsored athlete, I think, in the MLB? Has to be.
I didn't know it
So,
was being sponsored.
or he has the custom van
Yeah.
spikes when he's out playing.
Really?
True California boy. So yeah, and just to throw another accolade towards him, I guess, is the only him versus Abbott, I guess. He has a no-hitter. Abbott does not so far. So people often forget about Lorenzen throwing that no-no last year, 2 years ago. I can't remember. But yeah, I think this is going to be a hot one. It'll be a great one in between meetings throughout the day to check. And yeah, to Mark's point, it's going to be like 8-7 in the bottom of the sixth. and yeah, it's roaring at GABP.
Just a quick update for our fans who aren't aware. Like we said, we are currently playing the Rockies. It is 13-0 in the ninth inning, and we've got Trevino on the mound. So things aren't going great. The over would have hit today. The over's gonna hit tomorrow. Go ahead and take it.
Well, Trevino has given up a good amount of these runs.
Yes, he has. I just
He
looked
just gave
over and I
up
saw
time.
13-0 with him getting touched up again.
Yeah.
We
I mean,
do have
that just reiterates Mark's point about that's why this team's run differential is so bad, is because when we
Yeah.
lose, we
We get whooped. Yeah.
I think that's a sign of a really good manager. I've been thinking about this a lot. I think Tito knows when to push his bullpen and Tito knows when to hold him back. And I think he's actually done a really good job at that. Obviously, you want a positive run differential, don't get me wrong. But like I think the sign of the Reds is like Tito knows games that he's got or he doesn't. So I don't know. I think it's interesting.
Dude, Trevino's runs right now, do these count towards a bullpen ERA?
Oh no, that'd be a terrible thing to say out loud.
So I was going to say, we've been chatting so much about how good the bullpen ERA is, and he just put up 5 runs in top
his
of the
67.5 ERA.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That's a good question. I don't know.
We can ask our top
Yeah,
analyst. We'll get our top analyst on the job.
Yeah.
All right. Next one you got here is a little interesting. We got a little Big 12 conference, Mark.
This one, there's no science or data behind it other than the news that have come out regarding former quarterback at the University of Cincinnati, Brennan Sorsby, currently going through rehab for gambling and likely to miss this upcoming season for Texas Tech. So Texas Tech is plus 100 to win the Big 12. Next best odds were tied between BYU and Utah at plus 650. Utah losing their head coach made me shift to BYU. They have the crumble NIL money. That's all I know. Just purely out of value and the potential of Texas Tech slipping up here and there with losing Sorsby, which I think he's going to be gone. Like, I just don't see a world where he is starting more than 4 games for them this upcoming year. So,
I mean, he'd be starting if Wes Miller was his coach. He'd be starting as soon as he wanted to.
Yep. Wow.
Hey, I will say this. Don't sleep on the Utes, Dylan. You know all about
I
them.
know.
Yeah,
I was just gonna say, yeah, this is the Utah special here, Mark. This is right in my corner at the moment. But they always play each other. I mean, BYU versus Utah is one of the most heated rivalries in all of college football, at least. And living in the city of Salt Lake City here for the last couple of years, people, it's kind of like an Ohio State Michigan type of thing where they don't really care who wins the whole season, but if you win that one game, you chat about it for the rest of the year. So seeing both of those teams up the top of that from an odds perspective is pretty interesting. I will say I was at the Utah versus UC football game last year where it was close for first half
drives.
Yeah, and then in a matter of a pick six and a punt return for a touchdown, that game was swung quickly at Rice-Eccles Stadium just up the road. So yeah, I think the Utes got a lot of people coming back, so we'll see. But yeah, I don't know. That's a really good one to think about.
I think just from a pure value standpoint, I mean, regardless, I just took BYU was the coin toss in my head, but 650 for either is, I think, great value. I think plus 100 for Texas Tech, and I know they lost a lot of talent, and they also have the NIL to bring in a lot of talent, but it's got to be tough from a locker room standpoint too. If I mean your best player, quote unquote best player, is not able to play, like it all takes is 1 or 2 games, doesn't go your way, and you're not winning the conference, unlike basketball.
Yeah, is this the Wes Miller year for Scott Satterfield? Meaning this is it, right? This has got to be it. No,
That's a good question.
I mean,
I
the
don't
program's
think it will
been
be.
moving in the right direction, so I kind of think it.
If
with
they
the
get,
quarterback who just left.
I will say
So I
this:
don't know.
I have
Yeah.
concerns for this season either way with UC. So I don't. I personally think we're going to be around where we were last year, maybe 1 game less productive. Touching on yours, I think Utah is going to win the Big 12. I have no data to back that up. Brendan Sorsby, though, getting caught gambling on
Straight
like
vibes.
balls and strikes at the Reds game. You can only imagine
True.
that man's been up at 3 a.m. betting on even and odd. I did also hear that he was using the same interpreter as Shohei Ohtani, Ippy, so he might get out of all of it.
Something there. I don't know. We got to give a shout out to the UC baseball team though, getting back in the top 25. So maybe
Willie
that's where we
D.
divert.
Yeah,
we divert
we're
our
a baseball school.
our praise. Yeah, our praise.
Willie B just broke the shutout, 2-run blast.
Yes. All right. Well, hey, I love the Marks metrics for this episode. Definitely hit that over for the total runs.
Don't bet
'cause-
either of these.
Hey, Mikey Biceps isn't showing up. It's going to be Michael Lorenzen, not Mikey Biceps. We're going to hit him. All right. Let's go ahead and get into Around the League with Joey. Go ahead and take us away.
Yeah, so we touched on last episode how the Red Sox cleaned house with all their coaching staff. The Phillies followed suit with their manager pretty much, I think, the next day, and then tried to offer Cora the job. And Cora was like, no, I'm going to take some time with my family. I don't need to go to another demanding organization immediately when they'll have opportunities next offseason, I assume. So, yeah, Phillies are struggling, hitting the panic meter. The other thing I was going to kind of just go through this April All-Stars and biggest early disappointments around the league. So the Reds show up here twice. Elly De La Cruz is listed as the shortstop All-Star for the MLB. And Sal Stewart is the player to watch at first base. They didn't give him the All-Star. They gave Ben Rice the All-Star. And then we got that Kevin McGonigal, Riley Green, John's guy, is up there. James Wood. I was high on James Wood earlier in my rankings. And Drake Baldwin for the Braves, who I think I was really high on too. Another thing that caught my eyes, they also had a disappointment of April. A lot of these are World Baseball Classic players, and a lot of them are Team USA World Baseball Classic. So I think some of that struggle that Team USA had in the event has kind of carried over for some of the guys, like Cal Raleigh. And then for the others, I'm kind of curious if it's their preseason training was thrown off by it, and if there is some correlation to it, because you also have, Bobby Witt, Gunnar Henderson, Roman Anthony, Pete Crow Armstrong, Fernando Tatis, all as listed as the biggest disappointments in their positions so far this year. And I think there might be a little bit of correlation. You also just don't see Aaron Judge as the April All-Star, and he probably gets on this list every other month.
Kind of feeling the repercussions of some of those players because my fantasy baseball team is absolutely terrible. And a lot of these guys were
pitchers till like the 10th round. So.
Listen, all bats, no arms. All right. It's all bats, no arms for fantasy baseball. But
Dingers only. Curve. Dingers only.
Dingers only. Yeah. Pitchers stink anyways. It doesn't.
Yeah. You went the 2024 Bengals route. Yeah.
No, I think it's actually pretty wild. The April All-Stars, like what you said. I mean, Ben Rice is having a great season so far. But I mean, me being a Reds fan, me being a homer here, Sal Stewart is. I don't know how you can argue him not being on that list. And I know he's like one to look for, but I mean he's basically taking the Reds to a new level, and he's only 22 or 23, so pretty wild.
I mean, to be fair, a lot of these players to watch are kind of like they're basically giving them second place because it's
Yeah.
not like all rookies.
Yeah.
They have Junior Caminero on there, and he's like last year was when he would be at Sal's position.
Yeah, that's fair.
Going back to your question, Dylan, if you wanted to make a splash at the All-Star deadline or at the trade deadline, I would be looking at Riley Green as a corner outfielder. Came to GABP and looked like he liked the ballpark a little bit, so it would cost you a pretty penny,
Yeah,
quite
good luck
literally.
getting
But
him away from Texas
yeah,
because Texas.
So-
is-
Interesting. I like it.
Sorry,
I like
Texas,
it, Cap.
Detroit.
Detroit. Yeah.
I mean, he's
no,
isn't he only like 24?
He's young. Like I think he's 25, maybe.
He's
Jeez.
20.
But in general, like
beast.
his contract, I can't remember how much it was. It's not ridiculous. I think it's one of those things that if you truly believe that you're going to be a playoff team and you want to try and make some fans happy and make a splash, like you have some depth at pitching, you have some prospects that sometimes you have to be willing to give up, but it's a big ask for a small market team. I understand that. So not something to get your hopes up for, but would be super cool if they did it.
I would just say that the Tigers are not going to be looking for that. They might be looking at our roster and thinking about who they could pry away from us because, they're paying Skubal and they just went out and got Valdez and they're in a weak AL Central. They're thinking about the playoffs first. I don't think they're going to be selling at all.
Yeah.
Especially
Yeah, I
with
was just
the
looking at that too, Joey. Like just the spread between the two leagues. I mean, the AL just at the moment looks super soft, like super open. I would say like standings could be completely flip flopped a couple months from now, but at the moment, as it stands, the Mariners are a half game back with the Athletics up at the top of the AL West, which
The A's are good.
A's are good, and seemingly a couple of years ago, you would think that with all the news going on about the move to Vegas and all the fans not showing up, and the one vendetta game against the owner, like you would think they were never going to return to the top, and just shows how quickly the teams can develop and change. So I'm probably forever an A's fan, just for the matter of fact that they're trying to stick it to their owners in that way. So I'll always be kind of pulling for them. And it's always tough, I'm sure, losing a team from your hometown. So shout out to all the A's fans. I'm sure you guys are going through it, but
It's
be
because
happy now being on top of the division.
it's because the Mason A's. That's why you're A's fan, right?
Yeah.
You remember the
Yeah,
Mason
of
A's?
course.
Or
Yeah,
not?
no.
when you get rid of a
Hounds, baby.
Cy
Hounds for life.
Young, it's tough, right?
I know,
but-
Mark. I played for the Mason A's in Knothole. I was.
Oh, I thought we're making a Mason Miller
We
joke.
all
Okay.
know the
I thought we were
the
making a Mason
Blaze were
Miller
the
joke.
best team. All right, we all knew they were the
No.
best team.
The AL Central too, to DB's point, is so like they all have like a losing record or close to it. So I don't think they would be a team that would sell if they can
Well,
easily,
Yeah, and the thing about the AL Central is those teams you don't really expect
and you don't fear
really
them.
any of them to improve except for Detroit.
No.
Where at least in
Right.
the other AL divisions, you have teams at this point are, crazy disappointments. And the Blue Jays, Red Sox, the Astros, the Rangers, Mariners have all they were expecting better before the year. I do think the A's, they would be my pick to win the West, and I might have even said that before the season. I know I was high on them. Their lineup is just so good, and Rooker and Butler, who are two of their better hitters, haven't even been producing at all yet, and they're still sitting with a winning record. I do kind of want to put the part of my take Duke curse on the Yankees. The Yankees are unbeatable. They're winning the AL. This is when
Yeah.
they're getting Garrett
Yeah.
Cole and Carlos Rodon back. It's over.
Good.
It's a disappointing season for them if they don't go to the World Series.
Yeah,
Hey,
they have to
hey,
win. They have-
Dennehy.
yeah.
Dennehy, the Yankees are going to win the World Series.
Congrats, man. Hey, clap it up for
Officially,
Dennehy. Good
Mark's
job, man.
metrics.
Congratulations. Yeah.
Officially.
Yankees. You
Congratulations.
said Yankees. Bet the
Yeah.
Yankees. Okay.
Yeah, done. Yep, perfect. Actually, parlay it with the Giants too while you're at it, Mark.
Yeah. Who else is he? Are the Knicks still in?
The Knicks are still in it.
Yeah, there you go.
I heard the Islanders might have a chance too. I mean, you never know.
No, they didn't
Speaking
make it. That's
That's a stretch. Yeah.
speaking of New York, the Mets are down 12-2, 13-2 to the Nationals. So be on the lookout for a Frank the Tank rant. And that will cheer you up tonight, regardless of how the Reds just went final. But we're not Frank the Tank. So
Mark, do you have alerts on X
no,
for
actually,
Frank the Tank?
Jack and I, we don't talk to each other. We just send each other Frank the Tank, like just tweak out session. There's no there's it might be like a happy birthday, and then it's just like Frank the Tank, Frank the Tank, Frank the Tank of just him crashing out. So it's usually one like if he beats me to it, I'll send it to the team. But if not, I'm quick to go find it because it brings a lot of joy to me.
He's the best.
Yeah.
Big pro Frank the Tank pod here.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go ahead and get into our fan thread question. Dylan, actually, do you want to kind of take it away with this one? This one's right up your alley. I thought it was pretty cool. It says, if you had to choose 3 Reds to golf in a charity scramble with, who would it be and why? This is a good one.
Ooh, good one. Do we know the sponsor of who's fundraising the golf outing? That could be a good indication. We'll say it's for Cincinnati. Yeah, Priceville Chili / Cincinnati Children's Hospital. We'll give a shout out to Cincinnati Children's as well.
The collab of the century.
Let's put the medicine right in the chili, and it solves everything in this world. I love that. Was it okay? So it was me playing, or any of us playing with 3 other current Reds players, or all time.
Yep,
I believe it's current.
Current.
Okay, man. I don't think I know of any current play, like, how the games are, the handicaps across the entire starting roster here. But going off of vibes, I think I have to go Hunter Green, because I'm sure he's rehabbing, playing a lot of golf out in Arizona at the moment, hitting the range.
It's a good take.
Gino Suarez for vibes. He's going to be on the speaker, playing some amazing music, good vibes only. And then I'm going to take Tyler Stevenson in the 4-hole, because if we have anyone puts out in the fairway, I can just bet on Steve-O just swinging as hard as he possibly can. Try to hit it 500 yards up the fairway on a par 5. So lock it in. HG, Gino Suarez, and Tyler Stevenson for the first ever Cincinnati Children's Priceville Chili annual fundraiser at Fernbank Golf Course on the west side.
I think Suarez might be the ultimate cart golf partner. The issue is, if we're playing at Fernbank, no one's taking carts out. You're just walking the course. So get to know your foursome.
Yeah, we'll get out the Coldstream or something over there too. I'll talk to my brother to see how it goes.
So you don't want any lefties? Maybe different looks around all those the one Fernbank tree, if you had to close to it.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't think about that. I mean, some of these guys might be lefty golfers. I can't imagine, but yeah, that's a good idea too. You got to play the field of, yeah.
If I'm mixing in a lefty, I'm definitely going with Nate Lowe.
I was gonna say, he's a fan of the show. Tubba Wubba probably hits the ball 310 carry. I would take Nate Lowe. Give me a Sal Stewart, just because I've seen kind of like, he's that perfect kind of psycho that when something goes right, like a home run, he'll flip a switch and get the team fired up. I'm just expecting like you drain a 10, 15-foot putt. He gets everybody going on the green. And then Chase Burns, I think, would have wicked wedges. Just some finesse around the greens. Yeah. That would be I think that would be my stack. And then I would carry, I don't know, like margaritas for the team or something.
Yeah. Love it.
Yeah. I think I'd
Mark.
G. Brian Hayes, Noel B. Marte, and Reese Hines. Once that ball's sitting still and not moving, they're going to be hitting the crap out of it.
Oh, brutal, Joe. Come on. Brutal.
I also had Reese Hines. I think Rhett Lauder would be a sneaky one, a good finesse. And then I'm gonna take the Cowboy because he's part of the team still, kind of. He's got years of probably golf just stacked away. Plus you need a little seasoned veteran, and then I too would probably be carrying the margaritas with them. So
I'm gonna go. I mean, Nate Lowe is great. I think he's just drive it and see what happens with it. I'm gonna go like I'm thinking in the bullpen right now, like guys who might be good. I mean, Emilio Pagan or like Graham Ashcraft. I feel like they actually probably like golf a decent amount. I was gonna say Nick Lodolo, but not sure about that. But then yeah, vibes guy. I'm going Suarez as well. Just put him in the foursome. He's there to have a good time. So good. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go.
Love it.
I'm gonna go Ashcraft, Suarez, and shoot, who's the first one? Nate Lowe,
Pagan.
for
Oh
my
yeah, Nate
scramble
Lowe.
there.
Nate Lowe.
But hey, that was an awesome question from Rob Running Miles. That was a good one, so appreciate that. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get into the series preview. I know the Colorado series isn't done, so we have tomorrow, which is Abbott versus Lorenzen. The over is going to hit, so make sure you guys get on that. But after that, the weekend series is a special one. It's going to be Reds versus Pirates Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We got Brady Singer versus Keller, which will be a good matchup. Rhett Lauder versus, oh my goodness, I'm not going to be able to pronounce his last name right, guys.
Modzinski. Or
Molinsky.
Modzinski.
It's a
Something
hockey
like that.
last name right there. He'll be pitching against us, right-handed pitcher. And then we got Chase Burns versus their Ashcraft. So it's going to be a good one. We're going to be there for one of those, which is awesome. But what are your guys' thoughts on this upcoming series?
Second time playing the Pirates, I think, right? 'Cause we had them at home earlier in the season. So I'm excited to, I think this is our first time playing a second team or a team for the second time this season so far. So excited to see what adjustments we make. Trying to see if we faced any of their pitchers last time. We faced Ashcraft. Sorry, no, that was our Ashcraft.
No, we did face their Ashcraft.
Okay, we did. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I'm curious to see if we have any impact of just seeing the ball coming out of his hand another time. But you cannot, you can't play down the fact, well, boots on the ground. John Cap will be in the stands. I think we'll give him a lot to think about from the bench seats out back. So excited for this beautiful ballpark. PNC Bank is a great one to always go visit. So I'm excited for Singer to get back on the bump too. So we'll see how he performs. Had a good one a couple of days ago on Saturday. So see if he can keep it up.
Yeah, we owe the Pirates one. They got us the first time. We owe them back. We're not. Ashcraft is the only guy we're facing again, and even though he took their only loss, he only gave up 2 runs in it. Burns pitched lights out. He's been having a pretty good year. Ashcraft has, and he's a strikeout pitcher. Burns is a strikeout pitcher, so maybe Mark's metrics a little bit of over on the combined Ks for Sunday. And then I like our matchups. I mean, I feel like Singer and Keller is kind of 2 of the same pitchers, which could bode well to be an entertaining game to be at the ballpark for, because they can be a good 6 innings, 4 earned runs or something. I wouldn't be surprised to see that at all. And then getting it to the bullpen. Our bullpen's lights out, except for Trevino.
Getting it all out of his system.
Yeah.
I think, is it safe to say that these pitchers, from a Red standpoint, are our best 3 pitchers in the rotation? In our current rotation. So, like, given the circumstances, best case scenario for us, we also avoid Skeens too, which I'm personally thankful for. Just find a way to win 2 of 3. Ideally Friday night, and then find one of the Saturday, Sunday games to win. But no, I'm excited, especially because I feel like we just don't play the Pirates well, and I think it needs to change. And hopefully, it's this weekend.
Yeah, super quick. Do you guys see that Skeens brought a bounce house to Griffin's birthday?
Yeah.
For his 20th birthday, I think. So classic, like Skeens is like the old guy in the dugout now, like vibes guy, beating on the younger people. So thought that was hilarious. Wanted to give that a quick shout.
Yeah, I think that we're gonna win the series. I think we're gonna take 2 or 3. I think we're gonna win Friday and Sunday. For whatever reason, I think Keller is gonna face a pretty scary away crowd in the cheap seats. Not even the cheap seats. We're gonna be down low, so he's really gonna hear the fellas. I have a feeling that he might not love what we have to say. but I think the Reds are going to stomp on them, to be honest. Saturday, I think, is just going to be a pitcher's duel. I think Louder and Mudzinski are going to perform pretty well. I think Louder's starting to shape up. I think he's going to locate better than he has in past weeks. He hasn't located, but he's still battled to have good outings. I think he's going to put it all together this outing. And then Sunday, Chase Burns, go ahead and give me the over strikeouts. We are playing the Pirates, and we're avoiding Paul Skeens and Bubba Chandler. I would like to get out of this one with 2 of 3.
Yeah, I think we can officially retire bringing out any sort of cleaning supplies on this podcast because that never seems to work out. So we will not be doing anything like that. I'm going to also predict winning 2 out of 3. Mark, what is your over-under for length of the beer snake from the fellas?
How many? We have what? 16 people going? Is it 16?
17.
17? 170. 10 beers a person.
170.
That was the quickest math I could do without doing like
All-time
six-
record.
yeah.
Yeah.
Take half
10
of it. Yeah.
feet per
85.
person is crazy.
85.
We all just have 50 beers.
Yeah. We're all
Bring
doing
some
that.
duct tape.
Yeah.
Bring some
the
duct
10,
tape
10.
and do a little wizard
Make
staff
'em
action
long,
with them
yeah.
too.
Yeah. John, I'll look up the umpires and their addresses so you're well equipped for everything and anything come Friday night.
Sadly, I don't think that Travis Stankovic ended up on the Pirates, or else we could get round 2 with my boy.
He's selling
Oh.
insurance, brother.
Battle of the Titans.
The Shogo jersey, Joey's packed. It's making the trip to Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I don't think it's ever seen a win, so let's change that. I'm just messing with you. I don't know. I have no idea.
Well, excited for this Red series. It's going to be a fun one. But that has been it for Off the Thread Reds. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Don't forget to check us out every Monday and Thursday on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Also, don't forget to check out our social media, which is at OT Thread Reds. And like always, go Reds.